Hello, we are in historic Tombstone, Arizona. This is the real place, the movie, the history. We are here. It took a while to get here from the main highway. It's about a 25 mile drive, but we're here. A little background, this town was created around the 1870s when there was a silver boom, and a lot of people came out here hoping to strike it rich. But what really made it famous was the gunfighters, specifically Wyatt Earp and Holliday, and the famous gunfight at the OK Corral. So we're going to see all these places, see the real deal, and walk with us in the old western town. What really is nostalgic, if you look on the ground, this is most likely how it was. Wet, muddy, and no pavement. So this is very historical. It just happened to rain. This is what it most likely was like for most of the people at this town. Okay, it's still very nostalgic and still very timely of that time period. So walk with us on the tour to Old Tombstone. What you see behind me is a saloon dedicated to Holliday. Holliday was a dentist who became a gunfighter. He's considered actually one of the fastest guns in the West. Wild Bill Hickok, Billy the Kid, and Holliday is probably one of them. So this is something dedicated to him. He actually died of tuberculosis, but what's interesting is he actually was still very active while he was living with tuberculosis, because he was a heavy gambler and a heavy drinker. So, and he was also part of the gunfight at the OK Corral. So this is dedicated to Holliday. This place was called the Oriental. It was actually a rundown saloon that Wyatt Earp actually took over this saloon and made it successful. And it's dedicated to him. If you look at the cover, it actually has on the window a picture of Wyatt Earp, who was an old lawman that came here to strike it rich. And this is also a famous saloon, also in the movie Tombstone, called the Oriental. This is an old saloon called the Crystal Palace, another one of the historic saloons. If you see, there's a picture there of Henry. Henry was a rifle that was very revolutionary at the time. There was the Winchester and the Henry rifle. And this is one, if basically you could manage the Henry rifle, you were very successful, especially on horseback. It was a good rifle that a lot of these gunslingers would carry. And if you look at the top balcony, there's a guy representing one of the gunfighters. He actually looks like Holliday, so I think that's who he's supposed to be. This is another saloon dedicated to someone. This was Big Nose Kate. She was the girlfriend of Holliday, a prostitute that he kind of took out of prostitution, became his girlfriend throughout his life. And this is dedicated to her, Big Nose Kate. Okay, this is a little offshoot of the main street where all the stuff is. This is what they call the Western Town. They do some reenactments, some gunfight reenactments. It also shows a jail and also a trough. They have a little golf course that's based on like Tombstone. But they also have something called Chuck Wagon. And Chuck Wagon is basically where they used to eat. That was the food. The food was called Chuck. The wagon was the food that the wagon of the food was in. So it's kind of a neat little reenactment of gunfight. This is an old jailhouse. This is where they used to put gunfighters or criminals if you like robbed a bank or robbed a train. This is where they would put you. And then shortly after this, you probably were hung. And that's pretty much what they did to you. These are famous gunfighters that were arrested at one time. This is a casket that they would use for a child. This is a child's casket. We're in one of the reenactment saloons, and what they're going to do is reenact a gunfight and talk a little bit about the history of Tombstone. So let's take a look.
The year's 1877, and we're in Fort Grant, Arizona. Now there's a young man by the name of Henry Ansel. Now Henry's only about 16 or 17 years old, so most folks just call him a kid. He likes to frequent the George Atkins Saloon, but he's got a problem. The local blacksmith, Mr. Wendy Cahill, for whatever reason, takes it upon himself to bully the kid. So let's see how they handle their differences back in the old West. Money is it? And what would you be drinking? A whole bottle? You're not going to cause me any grief now, are you?
I'm going to go cause no grief. I should be out of this town any day now.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm real sorry to see you go. You've been a breath of fresh air back here. So what time's that stage coming in?
About 3 o'clock.
You've got plenty of time then. Go ahead. Find it your heart to leave be today?
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Well, try hard.
Thought I told you not to put the dates on my table, boy.
You're just going to start right here, honey.
What are you looking at, Saloon? I don't want to fight today.
I thought I told you no dates at my table.
But I think you better be going. And as for you, Cahill.
Shut up and pour me another drink. Where you going, kid?
I don't want to fight today.
Kid, no!
I'm thinking about
Get out of here, kid, go! Cahill, you all right? Cahill! Somebody go get the dog!
Well, top of the morning to your best.
Okay, morning, dude. How are you today?
Any day above ground is a good day.
Breakfast.
Absolutely. Say you don't seem too busy in here this morning. I'll send you a few hands.
You know what? I don't mind if I do.
Okay.
Say, I heard about that game last night.
Game? That was no
Did
game.
you clean it out?
In under 5 minutes.
One hand?
Absolutely.
They're gonna have to start calling that boy One Hand Charlie. He keeps playing like that.
They're gonna have to start calling him No Hand Charlie. He keeps running like that. Well, speak of the devil.
Well, Charlie, shot for shot. What brings you back in today?
you're going to run my money back.
Well, good luck with that.
You're really gonna play him again after last night?
On 12 shots, man. Can't be that lucky.
Well, from what I hear, he ain't lucky. He's good.
Well, I don't intend on losing.
Good night, Charlie. You say you boys don't mind if I sit in, do that?
Not at all, man.
Oh, good, because I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Yeah, I sure wish I could, Ben. Say, Charlie, don't you just forego all the agony and just go ahead and hand me that 300?
Just steal the cards.
What are you gonna eat?
I just sat down. I want to do it.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Feeling the smoker?
Well, I could prolong your pain as long as you would like there, Charlie.
You know, Charlie, the longer it takes him to deal, the longer you get to hang on to your money.
There's an idea. Would be. It It just doesn't beat a straight flush. Get out that iron, boy.
Get up from the deck.
I didn't need to pull from the deck.
Nobody should be that long.
So obviously I am.
I told you he ain't lucky. He's good.
What did you?
That's it. Butcher Steve gets to the door now, Beth.
Now, Luke, that's cocked and loaded.
Well, honey, it don't work unless it's cocked and loaded.
Darling, put that gun away from me, please.
All right, Charlie. It's your lucky day.
You can't come in here and call down cheap like that.
Oh, Beth, you're supposed to be my friend.
I'm everybody's friend, but you made the bet. You made the bet. Equal and you lost, Charlie. Now you're drunk. Go on home.
Bye, Charlie.
What's that look? I'm coming back. Tell me get noise first. You said.
Got some aggravating friends, Beth.
It appears I do.
I'll go get the marshal.
I guess I'll be your witness. Luke got off 3 shots, 2 of which went through the same hole he had. You're lucky to stole that one.
I said I'm coming low.
You ain't getting so much to draw the water here now. Get out.
I said I'm coming low. I'll pull you over this bar.
You ain't pulling anybody anywhere. I'll break it down. Frank,
What?
get him out of here.
I can't right now.
Why not?
I seem to have a little bit of that, what was that? Oh, horse throat. Boy, get your hands off me. You touch me again, you're gonna pay.
I'm in there.
You heard what the lady said. We don't serve your kind in here.
I'm a call for.
No. What's uncalled for is the way you ran like a little coward to lift your boys that died in the street.
Oh, my friend, when the body in here, he's got to watch the middle of the street. Coming out like dark yard.
Yeah.
William Monty?
Yeah.
Wait, you mean the William Monty?
What?
Then get out of here then.
So you fancy yourself some William Bond. You got
I do.
Well, you ain't fit enough to hold his court.
Boy, that's a fact.
Billy's my friend.
Billy. Here we go again with the Billy, Frank.
The only thing promised to you is the saloon down the street. Now get it.
Jeez.
I ain't kill my friend down here.
You gotta be kidding me.
The least you can do is give that drink.
I told you not to touch me again.
Frank, don't you go making a mess in here.
I'm not gonna make a mess in here. Because I'm Frank Benedict Claiborne's just let leave, ain't you, Billy?
I'm about to work
I
cowboy.
don't care who you are. Get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna see me one too many times, boy. Give me another shot, will you?
Oh, good. Maybe he'll shoot himself for that.
Only if we get lucky. What did he say?
Nothing, Frank.
heard
Now
it.
we get.
I'm
You
done.
wanna buy some more ransom? Frank. Frank.
You look at that coward. He's sitting across the street behind a fruit cart with a rifle.
Just leave him
I'm
alone
not
already,
leaving it alone.
Frank.
Let me go,
Don't
man,
you
boy.
do it,
Put
Frank.
down.
What did you do?
I shot it clean. Now go get the marshal.
Oh, I have a brother coming in today.
Up now. Here it comes.
So the coward returns.
Turn around.
No.
I said turn around.
Oh, you're just gonna shoot me in the back?
I don't show around. Not what you would
It's
have
getting
done.
way out of hand, John.
Hey,
And now,
I
Warren.
ain't
This
Get
is
out.
Johnny.
Stop.
Get out of here, Johnny. Well, how's that respect working out for you now there, Warren? Now, Warren would lay there for more than 6 hours before anybody bothered to even turn him over.
So we saw an indoor show that reenacted some of the gunfights during this time. One of the things they talked about was the gunfight at the OK Corral, the most famous gunfight at Tombstone. And for those of you that don't know, it was actually not at a corral. It was actually at a park. And this is the park that the actual gunfight was, called City Park. They did it for the movies to make it sound more historical, but actually this is where it was. It was actually at this park. And a little fact is also 2 of the people that ran away from it was Ike Clanton and Billy Clayborn, who were fighting the Earps and actually ran away from the fight as cowards. Let's get a couple of souvenirs. they used to mine for gold. It was a form of panning. But before they did panning, this was another form of mining to get more of the gold out. They used water would flow down, and then you had these little carriages that would siphon the debris off, and what was left, which was heavy, was the gold itself. Okay, so what you see behind me is famous Boot Hill Graveyard. These are where all the gunfighters were supposedly buried. Some were, some weren't, but we're gonna take a look and see actually who is buried here. So this is famous Boot Hill Graveyard from Tombstone. So what I'm doing now is I'm walking to, they have a gift store, but what I really want to do is just walk in and look at the actual graveyard of Boot Hill. So this is the Boot Hill Graveyard. They don't let you go inside unless you pay. So I decide just to take a look, see what it's like, and then they also have a little gift store, Boot Hill Graveyard. So this is the graveyard. You have to go inside and pay, but here's just some of the tombstones that they have. They kind of put the back to you because they make you pay, but I just want to kind of show this is famous as Boot Hill in Tombstone.